Hey, remember when I said that the Strange New Worlds episode Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow was probably their best episode of the season 2 because I didn't really expect much out of it. And even though that episode was still pretty stupid and bad in a lot of ways, but it wasn't as bad as the first two, which were just god-awful. And so I thought, well, usually as these bad shows go, they might get one episode that's just sort of good here and there. And I figured that was it. Well, the next episode changed all of that because it was much better than the third one. I don't know if this is a trend. I doubt it because there's still some kind of stupid things. But some of the mistakes of the third one are quite limited here, even though it's some of the same problems that they keep doing with Trek these days. So the episode, Among the Lotus Eaters, right off the bat, well, not exactly off the bat, you do get a shot of two starships, just like in the old days where they look pretty much alike. So it's the Enterprise, and I forget the name of the other ship, but it's Pike's girlfriend's ship, so they were having a mission, so they got a little alone time despite being interrupted all the time. Oh, but the soap opera stuff that the writers of Secret Hideout are more inclined to do. But hey, they're No Days of Our Lives. They're not even CW. But it's what they're comfortable with. But anyway, after the trial and stuff for number one and all that, he's saying that maybe they should split up because his relationship with her is doing damage to her career and she doesn't like hearing that kind of talk and blah, blah, blah. So they have a moment and sort of split up on bad terms there. But then he gets a call to head back to Rigel 7. Oh, wow. Why does that sound familiar? Well, that's the planet that Pike had a somewhat of a failed mission, at least in his opinion of it. Things went bad, and that's the setup for the cage. So, why is Captain Pike so down in the dumps and everything? It's because he's referring to this previous mission that they had. Well, yeah, he's got to go back there. They go there, and they dress up as the locals, and there's a lot of radioactivity. I think that was the reason why they couldn't beam down, or maybe. Well, anyway, they take a shuttle, and all right, fine. They're wearing the outfits of the natives and everything, trying to blend in, and but they right off the bat, Lady Khan starts noticing some ringing in her ears and having problems, and the doctor checks her out. They're not sure, but they figured, well, we got to keep going. And later on, they all start experiencing the captain, Dr. Mbenga, and Lady Khan. That's the landing party. Torres, the pilot girl, was going to go with them, but they needed her on the Enterprise because they needed their best pilot for navigating it through this asteroid field that surrounds the planet and all that. So she doesn't get to go. She's all bummed out about it. That's the thing, the weird element of it, that if you're going to give her a story, then give her a story. But they had her, and I thought it would be her story because it's her personal log that narrates the opening and then the ending. And she has a bit of a story here, but the main focus is on the planet. And this is the first episode that Pike actually gets to do something. He's in charge, and he's the hero here and all of that. So that's pretty refreshing because, let's see, this is the 4th episode of the 2nd season. So what, 14 episodes before you see him do anything. So anyway, they run into some locals, and they immediately, we know you're from Starfleet. And he's like, what? They're supposed to be this backward planet and don't know about aliens and stuff. So they capture him, bring him to a castle, and there's the insignia of Starfleet on the doorway. And he's like, what's this about? And then they go into the castle, and lo and behold, the ruler is one of Pike's former crewmen, whom he thought had died in the failed mission in the past, and that's why he was left behind. He's not too happy to see Pike. He feels like he was betrayed and abandoned and all that, and so he seizes Pike and his crew and incarcerates them, basically. Well, it turns out this is when Pike starts experiencing the symptoms that Lady Khan was experiencing. and the effects of the radiation wipes your memories. Some memories, your basic motor functions and stuff like that, remain, but you can't even remember your own name and stuff like that. You know something's wrong, but you just can't remember. And pretty soon, Pike and the other two, they don't know who they are. They don't even know each other and all this sort of stuff. They do know something's up. This local helps them. He's trying to explain to them how to work and stuff. And the guards are clearly, well, they're the guards, so they're in charge and everything. They put them to work and all this stuff. But eventually they fight with them and escape and all this. Lady Khan gets severely injured. She gets stabbed in the fight. And so the doctor immediately starts to help her, and he suddenly realizes, oh, I got medical skills, that kind of thing. And Pike says, well, we got to help her. And they hear a legend that their memories are locked in a casket within the castle. And so they don't know any better, so they assume, oh, well, we got to go and get our memories back, or we're not going to be able to save our friend, because the doctor can't quite remember all his skills. So the doctor and Captain Pike, they take off, they go there, they get in a fight, the doctor gets injured, so it's up to Pike. So see, he gets to be the big final hero. He makes it in there, he beats the crap out of his former crewman. And he says, I want the casket, and he says, I'll kill you if you don't give it to me. And the guy is telling you, it's just a myth, there's no casket. And ultimately what it is, and it's kind of obvious, but the castle is lined with metal that protects you from the effects of the radiation, and the guards all wear helmets. It's the same stuff, so their mental faculties and memories are intact. And even after you've had damage from the radiation, once you've spent some time, it doesn't take long, within the walls of the castle, your memories are restored, and Captain Pike begins to remember who he is and all this stuff. The local that was helping him is kind of, they said, hey, we're going to get our memories back, and we'll get yours back too. And he says, no, I don't want my memories back. He says, why not? And he says, I don't know why, but I think they're very painful. And of course it is, but he gets his memories back. And it turns out his whole family had died. But at the same time, he was grateful because he wants to remember them. So that's the conundrum of pain and memory and that sort of thing. You'd rather hurt than not have ever known them, that kind of thing. But it is like, oh boy, if only I could just forget about what bothers me, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, on the ship, since they're in orbit, they're getting the same effect. So everybody on the Enterprise is forgetting who they are and what to do and that sort of thing. And then it centers around, is it Ortega? Is it Torres or Ortega? It's Erica, the pilot. And she ends up talking to the computer, and eventually with the computer's help, she finds her way back, because the computer tells her, you're the pilot. Because the ship starts smashing into the asteroids, because no one's guiding it anymore. And so she runs back, and there's a line where, Spock says, it's kind of like the take on the feelings. I mean, facts don't care about your feelings, but he's saying that, feelings won't help you beyond facts, or something along those lines. But she says, I feel like I know how to fly this. And it's sort of the motor memory is still there. Once she puts herself in the position, it comes back to her. And of course, they do all this fantastic Enterprise zooming around and phasering its way through an asteroid and all that, and it's good effects and everything. And that's her thing. It says, my name is Erica Torres, I think. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting. And I fly the ship. That's the thing she kept repeating to herself, because it helped her to remember what it is she could do. So that was basically her part, and so it's the bookends of her log entries in the show. All right, but I mean, the bulk of it was, Pike's away team. So, I don't know, it was a little odd, but it doesn't really matter. As far as this goes, it still clings to the idea of addressing past shows. I mean, the original show and all that stuff, Rigel 7. And that's basically here, whereas the previous episode is borrowing heavily once again from Khan and Lady Khan always being there. They're always doing that, and just Khan was one episode. Yes, it became character for the greatest Star Trek film ever made. I understand that, but he's not like Darth Vader. He's not. He was just one character they encountered, and he got revisited. I mean, Harry Mudd is more of one they would revisit. But for the most part, they didn't. I mean, the Klingons and the Romulans, they were running into them, but it was a variety of people and that sort of thing. But that's not, Star Trek's not Star Wars. It doesn't quite work that way, but they just keep applying that to it. Meanwhile, the show is called Strange New Worlds now. When are they going to go to these strange new worlds? So Rigel, okay, they went to a planet. We finally got to see, we never got to really go to Rigel. We saw it in a Telosian fantasy in Pike in the original Cage and whatnot, but we didn't really get to see it much. And so here you get to see it. So I guess technically they finally got to a strange old world. And as far as the overall plot about their losing their memories and whatnot, I don't know if they lifted that from something else. I don't recall if there was a specific one to Trek akin to this. So I'm like, maybe they managed to craft something new here. But overall, left unto itself, it's not a bad episode. So I was surprised, and there it was. And bookend by Erica, the pilot, and then, of course, Pike and his girlfriend. The girlfriend comes back, and they kiss and make up. And, of course, Pike, I'm sorry. It's, all his fault and everything. But then he wanted to split up, and she didn't want to, and so that kind of thing. But anyway, they're an item again. So, yay. So that's, there you go. Lotus Eaters. So, as of now... This is probably the best episode. And overall, even the last season, I think this is the best one they've done. So this is the best episode of Strange New Worlds. And boy, if they can manage to continue this trend, who knows what will become. Of course, the crossover is coming. Yeah. Well, anyway, beyond that, maybe they can continue the trend. There's 6 episodes left, so if only one of them is bad, then that leaves 5. That'd be pretty good. That'd be quite the record for Star Trek these days. So, but anyway, I guess a nice little surprise. I don't know. It doesn't really fix everything. Oh boy, is there a lot of work to do, but broken clock, right twice a day. And such is the case with this episode. Perhaps we'll see what else they do.